I'm in the hole this week, so I need to like climb out of it right now. Otherwise, I don't know. Cleveland tonight.
Gotta go hide in Philly. All right, episode 21 of Boston's Big Three, presented by Ride the Wave Media, sponsored by 1 in 100. 1 in 100 is the only online raffle website giving fans and experience seekers the chance to win tickets to live sporting events, concerts, music festivals, and more. I've had to sneeze so bad, and I don't want to do it in the middle of this read. Whether it be from your desktop or mobile device, winning tickets to your favorite event has never been so easy and fun. Choose your desired event, purchase a raffle ticket into the draw, and you can be the lucky winner. We have a raffle for you. We were talking pre-show. Brandon is going to the Cowboys-Pats game. He said tickets were expensive, but he got them anyways. Not a baller on a budget. He's just spending. And just then, spending. If you want to spend what, like $2, a couple bucks, you spend a nice dinner out. You spend way more than what you're going to spend for this raffle ticket. You can buy a raffle ticket for cheap. If you win, you have literally a 1 in 100% chance to win. You're going to get tickets to go to the Cowboys game. It's going to be a good game. So yeah, go ahead with that. Let's kick off the show with this actually, because I just thought about it. Babs, are we at all nervous about the jerseys that the Pats will wear for the Cowboys game?
Sorry, I'm distracted here because I'm just trying to put up a promo right now.
Moondog nervous?
No, never nervous, never worried. Let me just tell you something about the jersey situation. We came out here, we said it. It was a very credible source that came out. To me, still holding on some hope. It's just maybe they release it next week, next Monday, and they make an announcement next Tuesday. But other than that, if it doesn't come, it's not happening. I mean, it is what it is. It's just a jersey. We had two credible sources that work with the Patriots, and they told us about it, and we just ran with the story. And then it got debunked and got shut down. So I will say this. People made such a huge deal about it. I haven't heard anything about it since then. Maybe 1 or 2 people have asked me, like, in the last 2 weeks. Until, like, right now, no one's going to come out and say anything.
I honestly forgot about it until I said Cowboys.
I forgot about it until you brought it up.
Like, I think that's the game. Who found this out? Roondog, right? I bet he's shaking in his boots.
Oh, 100% he's shaking, but I forgive Roondog. Roondog's a worker, dude. He's a warrior, and the 2-minute drill has been still building themselves up. You know what I mean? This is what I said back then. It's a rumor, and we went out with it anyways, and it's not like we said, like, Tom Brady's retiring this season, and we're definitely sure about this happening. And screw that guy, Paul Lucas, that wanted to come for my head. Guess what happened? You got fired from Sports Illustrated, so no one cares about you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he came at me, he's like, I know everybody in there, and this and that. Well, guess what? You're jobless. I still have a job. You don't. So that's what happens. And when the time that we released it, and from where it is today, I mean, look at all the stuff we keep doing. It's not like we're just like, it's not like that was our one thing for claim to fame. It's like, okay, like, this is what we think is going to happen. And
cherry on top.
It doesn't. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. So we're never losers in this situation. It kind of stinks because if there was an announcement, it would have already happened. It looks like it's not going to happen. You know, the spin zone for Babs, maybe because we released it, they don't want to do it. But then that's our fault for them not to do it because we released it. But no, again, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying it over again, back in May, I was told they were putting in for it, and they were putting in for the red jerseys. And then we had another person in August or September that gave us a jersey schedule, and they put that out there. So that we just ran with the story. And, I mean, again, it's just a fucking jersey, so who gives a shit? It sucks. My 2 sources are still credible people. It's not like it's like, oh, it's going to hurt our relationship or anything like that. So.
And even if the players aren't wearing them, I think a lot of fans, even if this news comes back up again, or if we remember what's this news story that Roondog put out for the 2-minute drill a few weeks ago, there's going to be a lot of fans wearing the royal blue throwbacks, and it'll be fun to see all those in the stands again.
Yeah, absolutely. The sales have been really good at the pro shop for them, and you know, it is kind of crazy. Let's just talk about it. I mean, it is crazy why they haven't done it yet. And I feel like this has to be the season. It's the 25th anniversary of the Packers-Patriots Super Bowl. And you figure that with them doing the release on the Pro Shop, Ty Law making the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it kind of all made sense to come together. Mm-hmm. Why are they just magically releasing it this year, the hats? Why are they just magically releasing all these, like, throwbacks this year? It made no sense in that situation. So maybe the league couldn't approve it. Maybe there's something that we don't know about, but they definitely put in for it. Like, they got it got disapproved.
Brady never wore those jerseys, right?
No, and
Maybe
it's even
that's
funny
why.
because the McCourties even came out and said, like we've been asking Bill like nonstop, like we want to wear those every single year. They have the right helmet to wear them, and it's printing money at this point. There's so much money to be made off that jersey. So I'm even thinking, I'm still holding out hope. I'm still crossing my fingers because this is the way I think. It's like, okay, they make an announcement next Monday. Hey, this Sunday we're going to be wearing them, and only a limited amount are going to be available at the pro shop. They're going to sell out of them, of course. And then they wear them, and it's going to be kind of a rare jersey. Then the second the game's done, they put them on sale, and they will sell for the rest of the season. You got to think in money terms that way, too. Maybe they don't want to release it right away because they know how much they'll sell. Because that jersey, if they release it and that jersey's out there, that's the number one jersey for the rest of the entire year until they go to the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl jersey. So, I mean, for them, they could probably have it in the background already being made by Nike. Who the fuck knows? And again, you can still hold out hope. It's just more of like if they're going to announce it, they have to give a solid heads up so people are able to purchase the jersey and get it in time. If you're going to be doing it next Monday, you're not going to be able to get it in time. Like if you buy it online and for the game. So usually when they do that, like at the Super Bowl, they usually announce it like 10 days or 10 days beforehand. So you have the jersey ready at home and it comes like on that Friday. So we'll see. I'm still holding out. Next podcast will be the death. No,
yeah,
we'll have the casket out.
We'll know by then.
I'll have the throwback on next.
In between then and now, however, we are facing Super Bowl 52 opponent, NFC East companion to the Cowboys. Basically, Brady's revenge game. Philadelphia Eagles are coming to town. I wanted to touch on this before we do our NFL picks because we're coming off the bye week. Haven't really talked Pats in a while. And considering the stake of this game, not really regular season. Like if we win, I'm assuming we're going to kill them. Philly has a lot to play for. We do have a lot to play for because Baltimore has keep winning and they have the tiebreaker against us right now. I don't see them losing after a bye. I don't see them losing after they lost in the Super Bowl to the Eagles. And I don't see Philly coming to Boston and leaving with a dub. Last time that's happened was like 1920 when the Sixers came or something.
We're
traveling
to Philly.
Oh yeah. I was thinking.
And the Eagles beat the Pats in Foxborough a couple years ago with Chip Kelly. So
I was more talking Sixers because Philly versus Boston sports. But anyways, Chip Kelly, UNH, former UNH.
Sam Bradford.
But yeah.
Listen,
Babs, you were going down to Philly if you want to preview it.
Yeah, so listen, first of all, everyone's saying this is Brady's revenge game. What's the revenge? Okay, yeah, he lost the Super Bowl. The guy threw 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. There's really nothing to revenge. It's not like he had a bad game against the Eagles. It's just a loss, and that loss comes from his defense. Yeah, he could take the heat because he fumbled there with 2 minutes to go, strip sack, fumble, and he had to lead the team back down there. But I don't believe in any of that. I've seen it's the defense. This is the avenge game for a lot of the defensive players. Guy like Stephon Gilmore, just saw a stat. Alshon Jeffrey had a very big game. The second that Stephon Gilmore went on Alshon that game, he had 3 targets, no catches for the rest of the game. A guy like Kyle Van Noy, I just saw him today, a video of him talking to Tommy Curran, and Van Noy even said that left a sour taste in my mouth. That's a game. So this is a bigger game. Then I love hearing Brady saying like this left a sour taste. I want to go out there. I want to play. He's going to carve up the secondary. This Eagles team isn't as good as everyone thinks, but it's more for the defense. It's for the boogeymen. Now, Hightower coming out here as well too, saying, and you know what? Hightower didn't play. I think Hightower didn't play that year. I think he was hurt that year in Super Bowl 52. And that's a huge loss because at that time, and it's 2 years later, but at that time, he's their defensive play caller. He's the guy that's out there. He's the guy making the moves. Screw your Malcolm Butler talks or anything like that about the last game. But obviously, this is a completely different defense. But some of those defensive players were on the team. They want to come out. They want to prove something. Boogeymen. The Boogeymen need a rebound after this game. Now, I just rewatched the Baltimore game, and I felt watching that game, because it's different when you're there and then you watch it on TV, that they weren't that same team. Like it felt like they were letting off the gas pedal a little bit. And it goes into that whole aurora of Belichick does this on purpose to study Lamar Jackson, to study teams, to know how to play against them in the future. This Boogeyman team, now all of a sudden Hightower's dropping a Boogeyman shirt that he wants to sell with Van Noy and Jamie Collins. You guys better step it the fuck up this week. You better go into Philly, and you better only give up 10. I'll give you 10 points that you have to give up. Offense will take care of business. I've been marking this down on my calendar for 2 years. Obviously, I went to Philly. What started the whole Spike King shit, pretty much. Went to Philly, spiked the cheesesteak. I actually went down Saturday morning, and I did 5 videos, released them every single day. People thought I was there like the whole week, which was hilarious. Yeah, we took a loss. I've learned actually over time not to. This is actually, superstitions and shit like that. Jinxes and whatnot. I'm not doing anything to any other teams like stuff. Like I learned that last year. I slammed a terrible towel, the Pats lose. I slam a cheesesteak, the Pats lose. I make fun of the Tennessee Titans and I do all this stuff, the Pats lose. That shit's serious.
Yeah.
This upcoming tailgate, I'll be at the 4th and John tailgate. I've been very, very discreet about where I'm going to be because I don't want any Pats fans to be there. They are not welcome to be there. I will be the only Pats fan there at that tailgate. I'll be dressing up just like I did in Buffalo. I'll be having I'll be war ready. I don't know who I'm going to the game yet with. I have 2 people that I'm kind of talking to, Eagles fans. I'm doing an all exclusive Eagles tailgate. I'm going to be right in the middle of all of it. This is the same tailgate that a couple weeks ago, Mike Scott, who plays for the Philadelphia Sixers, he's a Redskins fan. And he showed up to that tailgate. It was on TMZ. He showed up to that specific tailgate, and they had a casket out, and they had Sean Taylor's jersey on the casket. Now, that's fucked up, right? Very fucked up. Yeah. He went up there. He made a big scene. The Eagles fans and fought him. Like, they actually throwing haymakers at each other. They had no idea he played for the Sixers, and they were fighting with each other. That's the type of crowd that I'm going into at this game. Luckily for the Spike King and Babs, he's got a little protection around him within these Eagles fans because it's all fun and games. You know what I mean? And you know what? Guess what? The Eagles had their fun. They're going to be saying 41-33. They're going to say Brady lost to a backup quarterback. Who's the reigning defending champion right now? It's the New England Patriots. Cool, you guys got one on us. We got one on you back in 2004. Most of you were in your dad's nutsack at the time, so you probably all forget about it. So, it's going to be exciting. At the tailgate, what's cool about the tailgate, I'll talk about them real quick, is that, and you guys will see all this stuff. I'll be posting a ton. And it's going to be very interesting. They're sponsored by Bud Light, so that's already a win. Number 2 is that they have a bakery. They're like a pizza. They make pizzas, and they actually put like the Eagles logos on the pizzas and their 4th and John and shit like that on there as well. They're going to be showing Super Bowl 52 in the parking lot. They're going to have a big screen projector up there, so they're going to be showing that. And they're a rowdy bunch over there too. So
one of the guys I work with here, he works with like Xfinity Live there, and so every single weekend he has to go down for the games. He was telling me this game that there's never been a more anticipated home game in Philly since they won the Super Bowl, obviously. But he's like, it is going to be insane.
Tickets have been pretty ridiculous in price right now. I actually haven't gotten mine yet. They've gone down slightly, but I was with Moosey in the Baltimore game, and Moosey's an Eagles fan. And he was saying that, wow, there's a lot of Pats fans here because they're scared to travel to Philly. There's going to be a good group that's going down there. But here's my thing when it comes to, and I said this on the Connor commentary, I want to do this on my own because I've been planning this for 2 years and I have the connections down there and I know what I'm getting into. It's like when Prez goes into these away games and shit like that, he's got somewhat of a group and people know who he is and shit. Because what's going to happen is there's going to be fights. There's going to be absolutely a lot of drinking because it's a 4:00 game. They start their tailgate at 9 in the morning. That's when the lots open up. So there's going to be already a ton of drinking heading into noon, 1 o'clock when everyone starts getting over there. The Pats group are going to be doing their thing. I'm going to have my thing going on. And if I was there going down as a Pats fan, just letting you know, they're going to shit on you. They're going to fucking poke the bear, and that's what they're going to do. Do not fight back with them because they are going to outnumber you really quick. End of the day, let them do what they want. The best thing possible is you go in there, you take the Pats -3.5, and they walk out with a blowout victory, and it's going to be the best day ever. So I can't wait to get down there. I'm excited. I'll be down there Saturday I leave at 5 o'clock, 5:30 here, and I'll be down there having a Patriots party that night. Fitzy I'm gonna actually roll with him. He's gonna be hosting some sort of party down there, and actually he's gonna be on WEI from 1 to 4 this Saturday. He told me to stop by the studio again, so maybe I can try to get some airtime for for the Spike King and ride the wave. So it'll be a fun weekend. This is my last trip, by the way, until the Super Bowl. Wow. I don't have any other trips scheduled. The only other 2 road games they play is Houston and Cincinnati. I might try to do Cincinnati, but I mean it's a throwaway game. Like, who gives a shit? So this is actually big for the Pats because coming off the bye now, you have an away game. You win this game, you're back at home against the Cowboys. You win Houston. They're pretty much home for the rest of the stretch and through the entire playoffs. That's huge for them.
This is going to be a fun one just throughout this week to prepare. Like it's Wednesday or it's Thursday already. Just to pull, like, there's not a good time to ever watch Super Bowl 52, but if you're going to dig from the archives and find one place to watch that game one more time, it's this week to get ready for this Eagles game and get you like jacked up, like get in that mindset you were like immediately following that Super Bowl loss, that awful sour taste that game left because of how well the offense played and that the defense really just allowed everything to get through and allowed the Eagles to score 41 points on the Patriots defense. Yep. That later allowed 3 points in the Super Bowl a year later. It's gonna be exciting. I like the atmosphere you're talking about. It's gonna be insane down there. Like, Eagles fans are gonna be through the roof as always, and just Philly fans in general. But this is the time to dig out that tape and watch that Eagles thing and get back in that mindset. If the Pats win this game, it's gonna feel that much better.
So if there's one game that you lose this entire season, it was that Baltimore game. You didn't want to go, because if you go into this game undefeated and you take that bye week, it's so much better to lose that game than go into the bye week and Bill just drills it in your mind like, what the hell are you doing, like this and that. It's just classic New England. It's just classic New England football. But if you were to lose this game, and no matter what, let's just talk about it. What if the Pats lose this game? Let's be realistic. Yeah. How does that affect this team going forward? Because that's 2 straight losses, especially after a bye week. What's the media going to say? What's everyone else going to say out there?
I would never want to face a bird team again. Ravens, Eagles. No, I mean, in all seriousness,
from that tri-state area.
You lose regular season games, you win a Super Bowl. Like, I think it'll just be the same story, different year. Like, media, Brady's cliff here. This defense hasn't played anyone legit. Now they have. And then next thing you know, they're hoisting ring number 7 or trophy number 7 up in the air.
The good thing about this, I did my research. I went into the stat sheet. I went back all the way to 2001 on this one. Dating back to the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady era, going into the bye week, the Patriots have only ever lost 1 game the week before the bye. It was in 2002 against the Packers. Let me restate that. They've lost 4 games going into the bye week and only lost following the bye week 1 time, and that was way back in 2002 against the Broncos where they lost by 8 points. But like I said, there's 4 games, 3 of them coming off a loss going into the bye week. They have come back and dominated those games. The first one going back to 2005, they lost to the Broncos before the bye week. This time coming back after the bye, beating the Bills 21-16. 3 seasons later, the year Tom Brady wasn't playing in 2008, they lost to the Dolphins. That ended up being a really important or bad game to lose. They lost the division that year. And then came back and beat the 49ers by 9 points following the bye week. And then last year it happened too they lost to the Titans going into the bye week, came back and dominated the Jets 27-13.
So another thing I just want to point out too is the Pats rarely lose back-to-back games, but last year they did that twice, and they did it on the road twice as well too. So that's another telling thing as well. But yeah, after the bye week, I mean, there's no excuses for either side going into this game. Both teams have a bye. Both teams are getting ready. And again, it's just going to be an exciting matchup. And yeah, everyone, like Tyler said, like, they lose this game, everyone's going to lose their shit. It doesn't matter. The Pats are still going to win their division. They're still going to go out there, win the division. It's just more for the 1 seed. You want to make sure that, hey, we're staying ahead of everybody else. We need that 1 seed. I mean, Kansas City's fallen off, but Baltimore now has that advantage on you if they can end up tying up the record. It's going to be an exciting game, and I cannot wait for the Pats to just blow them out 55-10. I want a fucking blowout. You know what Brady said? Remember what Brady said a couple weeks ago or whatever? It's, when you go to these road games, and the greatest thing that he likes is that at the end of the game, most of the home team has left, and the last people that are left are Patriots fans. Because he said that going into Buffalo. I want that to happen in Philly. I want it to be just such a blowout. The Philly fans are leaving, and whoever's left over is just the New England Patriots fans. And that's going to be making him smile. But you know what? That Super Bowl loss now is in the rearview mirror. I am so focused for the rest of the season.
Do you remember a few weeks ago in the at Miami game that you were at when it really felt like the Patriots kind of were running up the score a little bit on Miami towards the end of that game? I feel like
they need to run up the score here.
Let me propose this question to you. Say it's late in the game, doesn't matter what the Eagles have scored. We're winning the game. We get a touchdown. That was our 39th point of the game. Does Bill go for 2?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just get 40 if you kick the field goal, though?
No. What, 41?
I see what you're saying. Because it's 41-33.
Yeah.
41-33. I don't know. Probably.
Snarky enough?
I think, like I said, this is more of a game. This could be a game where Brady just has an average day and they win like 24-10, whatever it is. This is a game for the defense. It's straight up fuck Brady, fuck all that, fuck the offense. This is a game for the defense, okay? This is a game that you have some of these players, like I just said earlier, they need to make sure they prove this. Big thing too, that's going to be very telling going in this game. N'Keal Harry, he just had his first media appearance today. Is N'Keal Harry going to play? I don't know if we said this on the last podcast, but obviously what we've had for the rumors going on is that N'Keal Harry has an attitude problem. Now, N'Keal, and we don't want to go out with it. I mean, no one ever watches us anyway, so who cares? But N'Keal, and I just want to have it for timestamps, but N'Keal Harry was inactive last game against the Ravens, was told that it was because of his attitude. It's not because of his health status. It's just more being humble. If he's inactive this game, that's very telling. But I've been also told he is fucking ready to go. N'Keal Harry being active this game will be amazing. Mm-hmm. I would like to see him just go off. I would like to see Brady just force feed him the ball the entire time too.
Why not just get his reps up in the beginning?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with that as well too. So
what week is it? He's got 6 weeks to get involved in the offense. Get ready for playoffs.
And you know what? It's just like at the end of the season too, when now the Buffalo game has been flexed to Saturday, which that game I bet you won't even matter at that point.
They got flexed to Saturday?
Yeah, because what they do is college football's ends and they have Saturday games. So because the Bills are fighting for a wild card and fighting for the division, technically, they moved that game to Saturday at 4:00, which is now an exclusive NFL Network only exclusive game. So if you don't have NFL Network, you get screwed. It's not even on CBS. It won't be on Fox. I don't know if they're going to do that in the local area or not, but you're screwed on that.
That might be one of those ones where it's like Sunday Night Football, the Saturday edition. So it may end up being on NBC. We'll see.
By the way, let me do a little hint for everyone. Crackstreams.com.
No, 2 minute drill will have it.
Oh yeah, them too.
Yeah, them too. They're gonna hit big this week. This week they're actually gonna be taking care of the game. So
okay,
they'll be taking care of business over there.
There we go.
I just want to say one more thing because I just got a text message right now, and we're talking about Patriots in general. We could have saved this for later, but we'll do it now because it's kind of Patriots related. Colin Kaepernick, it's come out that this Saturday that Colin Kaepernick is going to be, showing off what he has left. Teams are going to be scouting him. Who's going to pick him up? We don't know. I actually have always been with, Colin Kaepernick. People could say he sucks, and yeah, he's not a starter anymore, but he's a viable backup, 100%.
Absolutely.
He should have been on a team, and he did get blackballed by the NFL, and he definitely did get screwed over here. I think he still has it. I think he's still in shape, and things have calmed down for him in terms of being in the limelight in the media. That it is the right time for him to come back. I will read this from the one and only Roondog. He says, "Hot take right here. Patriots should sign Colin Kaepernick to the practice squad so he can help the defense prepare for Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson in the playoffs because those are the teams that most likely the Pats play." Great hot take right there. You had someone last year like Brian Hoyer, which I was always for to keep him because he has a great mindset for the game. He was the guy that, although he doesn't have the legs, had some of these players acting like Pat Mahomes and acting like them during the practices to recreate what was going to happen. Now that Lamar Jackson, you have film on him this year, having a guy like Colin Kaepernick with the same legs and the same speed as probably Lamar and the same mindset, and I mean that's what Colin Kaepernick did when he played and went to the Super Bowl. It actually is very hot take, but smart because not a lot of teams are going to want to pick him up, and it'd be great to see Colin Kaepernick come on the squad, and it'd be funny, dude, if he wins the Super Bowl and is with the Patriots. So
my understanding from this, from all the the media noise, all the coverage of that about this situation that's going to be going on down in Atlanta. I think I heard something like that, Southeast United States, where this workout's going to be held. I feel like it feels more likely than not that Colin Kaepernick's going to be on an NFL roster at least by next season. You want the hottest of hot takes? I'll give you three level hot take. I think Colin Kaepernick will be playing for the Chicago Bears, backing up Teddy Bridgewater.
Wow, that's a 1-2 threat right there. Yeah. So what happens to Mitch Trubisky?
Oh God, who cares?
He's gone.
He ain't ready for the NFL limelight yet.
I can't even tell if Trubisky's good or not.
It's hard. You can't tell.
So another thing too, just a conspiracy theory. I don't have my tinfoil hat. Conspiracy Wednesdays with Babs right here. The NFL is telling these teams now, hey, the XFL is only a couple weeks away, and they're starting to get players in here. Now, Colin Kaepernick asked for like $20 million for the AAF or whatever it was, and he wasn't going to get that because he's a big fish in a small pond. But the XFL, they might come out, Colin, and be like, hey, we need you. And he's ratings. People are going to want to watch Colin Kaepernick.
100%.
So the NFL is probably going to these teams and be like, hey, we need to get him a workout, and someone needs to sign him and get him on your squad before he's a free agent to the XFL. We need to get him now. And with his workout, a team will pick him up this year. He will be on a team this year, and the NFL is going to force a team to take him at some point this year. No idea who is it going to be, but I think the Patriots, I mean, how about this? Let's just weigh these two options here. Antonio Brown or Colin Kaepernick? What's the worst media out of those two? What would you rather have?
Easily Antonio Brown, because he's not fighting for anything. Yeah. Like I am, like, you know, Sean King. So he was on, like, I listened to Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson's podcast, but he was on their episode last week, and most of the time they talk about Kaepernick, and I already was supporting Kaepernick. Like, if you believe something this badly, and you are willing to fight for it, and you literally like end your career for it, because like it's like not very likely he comes back. He has a workout. Let's see what happens with it. Then like I respect him. Antonio Brown, he's a moron. His feet froze off. His like the feet
about that one.
Freezing went to his head because his brain froze, and now he's just being a moron on Twitter.
In the 11 days that they had Antonio Brown on that team, I think the Pats did. I mean, they were getting hammered and peppered with all these questions about AB, but the Pats did really well to try to sweep that under the rug. If Colin Kaepernick comes in, do you know how many people will support the Patriots because they took on Colin Kaepernick? There's a ton of Colin Kaepernick supporters out there. Yeah, there's a lot of haters, this and that. But the Pats are that one team that, hey, we don't do that shit on this team. Like, just, hey, come in here, do your job.
That's exactly why I don't think he wouldn't end up on the Patriots roster.
Why?
Because of all the political stuff. It's really hard, especially in New England, to push that stuff to the side.
If we're gonna be talking politics with Kraft and Brady being such pro-Trump guy, I don't know. I think it's way too much of a message to be left out of sports entirely.
Last thing before we jump into picks, I know we've been all Patriots. This is really this is Patriots heavy right now. We have to talk about this. Rob Gronkowski, what do you think? He has.
I don't think.
End of the month, he has to come back. 15 more days.
I don't think it's happening.
It's going to happen. It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. He will come back. When I came on and I reposted this week, I think it makes the most perfect sense. People are like, he's going to get drug tested. He's going to fail the drug test. And people are going to say, well, he's on CBD, of course. That's stupid that it's an illegal substance. And everyone's going to say, okay, no one's going to bat an eye. Just like Edelman, yeah, people made fun of him. But they're like, yeah, he tore his ACL. No shit, he's going to take some sort of steroid to get him back in there. I'm still a believer that Rob Gronkowski comes back. I'm still a believer that this team, especially coming off a loss, and Brady's like, hey, we need you back here. And Gronk does not have to play. It's not like Gronk is playing 60 minutes every single game. The time of possession that they're going to have is going to be an average of 22 to 25 minutes, and Gronkowski is probably going to be out there for 12 to 15 minutes of those averages, right? He's just there for blocking. And even a skinny Gronk is still a good blocker.
Yeah, if he came back, he would be suspended like 4 games, you would assume?
Yeah, because he's going to fail for PED.
Could you imagine? Just picture the storyline. So go back Super Bowl 51. Tom Brady starts the season on a 4-game suspension, wins the Super Bowl MVP. Julian Edelman last year starts the season on a 4-game suspension, wins Super Bowl MVP. Could you imagine if Rob Gronkowski came back, started his season on a 4-game suspension because of CBD oil? Could you imagine if he ended up winning, like hypothetically, Super Bowl MVP?
Imagine winning Super Bowl MVP and you only play 3 fucking games the entire season. And most of those games are only going to be in the playoffs. This guy, if he takes a suspension, he's not coming back till week 17 against the Miami Dolphins. And the Miami Dolphins absolutely stink this year. So he goes out and he plays like 3 series. That's his preseason game. That's it.
That would be
unreal. I'm getting all excited. He has a bye week and then he comes back in his first game is against like the Houston Texans. And you know what? You have no film on Rob Gronkowski for the entire year. And Rob Gronkowski still is going to know what the playbook is. And Gronkowski can still go out there and be in the red zone threat. They don't even have to get him down the field. He could just be a red zone threat. That's it. And you know what? Add on top of this, Des Bryant, is he going to sign with the team somewhere? He said he's got 2 weeks to do it. 1 week's already passed. He's going to sign with the team by next week. And Des Bryant should come to New England. And anybody who says no, you're a moron because he only asked for $1.25 million. He got it from the Saints. He got hurt. He still hasn't. Get him on here as well too. He's going to cost you next to nothing. $750,000 is what he's going to cost you. You can get rid of fucking Newhouse. And also, Isaiah Wynn's going to be coming back this week. No one else is really talking about that, too. I forgot all about that now, see? So Isaiah Wynn comes back. Things are going to start happening for the Patriots. Imagine all of a sudden the Pats going into the final stretch. You get Rob Gronkowski, Isaiah Wynn looks good, N'Keal Harry looks good, and you get Des Bryant. Wow, the offense just stepped it up just like that. Let's go to our picks.
That's going to be a team of paper champions, similar to the paper champions that are playing today.
So
and about half an hour, Steelers at Browns. Oh wait, let's actually do the recap first.
Last week was actually really awful for us all. There were 3 upsets from like the worst teams in the league, with the Jets, the Dolphins winning their games.
The Jets beat again. They beat Giants,
and the Browns won too.
Yeah.
So Babs was the only one to take the Browns, but he also took the Bengals, and they ended up losing by 40-something to the Ravens.
Have they won yet?
No, I did take the Ravens minus 9.5, though. That's what matters the most.
Okay. We all picked the Giants to win. They didn't. We all picked the Saints to win. They didn't. We all picked the Lions to win. They didn't. We all picked the Colts to win. They didn't. I was the only one to take the Vikings winning, and we all finished the week.
Screw Kirk Cousins.
6-7.
Wow.
That just shows how much of a unit we are. You can't play like this. If you're doing that, you're poking people in the eye. When we play like this, punch people. That's what we are.
I did take the Vikings though. I did good in betting last week. I was down, I was up, I was down, I was up. I took the Vikings. I walked out with some money. Oh, this week I'm in a big hole right now. We'll get into that a little bit later when we talk basketball because I'm really pissed off about last night. Very, very pissed off about last night. But no, I did really well in betting last week.
All right, Steelers at Browns.
Some paper champions.
Taking Steelers. Browns don't have anything to play for really, and Steelers do.
That's a lie. The Browns still have the wild card to play for right now. Yes, they're 3-6, but they could finish the season 10-6. Here's the thing.
That's like Sam Darnold be like, we could still make the playoffs. They have a 0.01 chance to make playoffs.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. You got to look at that division. All right. Yeah, the Ravens are at the top. What if Lamar Jackson gets hurt? The way he's been playing, I watched that game, dude.
If Lamar Jackson gets hurt, do you know who comes in for him? Not Robert Griffin. Penn State's own Trace McSorley. We also lost to Minnesota. We're not going to be talking about that.
Here's some facts about you on tonight's Thursday night football game. I am taking the Cleveland Browns minus 2.5 for $100. Here's the reason why. Yes, the Steelers are a hot team right now. Yes, if you look back on some of their games, they barely won some of those games. They played some shitty teams. They played the Miami Dolphins. They played the Chargers. They beat the Colts, but Brissett got banged up, and the Rams had to come all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast. They're frauds, the Rams. The Browns beat the Bills last week at home. Nail-biter game for them. They actually had to come back in that game and win that game. Don't forget that. And the Browns haven't had a turnover in the last 2 games. They're starting now to finally get it, although it's a little too late for them. They're starting to get it. It's going to be a great game. It's a divisional matchup. Remember last year when the Browns almost beat the Steelers and it was like that missed extra point or whatever it was?
It was a tie, right?
Yeah, it ended up being a tie. It was week 1. So, they played the Steelers tough. The Browns played the Patriots tough as well, too. That's a game they should have won. The Browns beat the Ravens this year. So don't forget that. And the Ravens are a very good team. So this Browns team does have fight in them. And they are fighting because they do not want to be the bottom feeders of the league. And they still have a shot at the wild card. And if you look at the wild card right now, Tyler Miller, the team that's leading the wild card, well, the second spot is 5-4. You have 5-4, 5-4, 5-4, 5-5, 4-5, 3-6. Okay, there's still some room there. They can still get there.
Okay,
Still a lot
but
of football.
They also have to rely on those 4 teams ahead of them to just tank.
Never know what happens. It's not tanking. It's just losing.
Yeah.
Anything
Well,
can
if you
happen.
lose a lot of games in a row, it's because it's not like tanking change. Tanking unintentionally tanking. Like when a team loses a lot of games, like they're tanking.
Baker Mayfield on Thursday night is what made him last year against the Jets. Don't forget that.
I was going to take the Steelers. Babs, you've sold me. You've sold me.
Sticking with Steelers.
I'm going to take the Browns here just because like the argument you presented, very precise, very clear. Very clear. I understood what you were saying, and the spread's gone up to 3, so I'm taking the Browns.
I got him at 2.5, thank God.
Another terrible game. We got Jets. No, Steelers Browns isn't a terrible game. I don't know why I said another one. Jets Redskins. That's a terrible game. I just want the Jets to win because Sam Darnold. I just wanted to keep his blind confidence saying we can still make playoffs. Did you hear how he said it? He looked at it like he saw a ghost. He was like, "We can still make playoffs." Yeah. That wasn't even an intentional joke. I'm just
if they won out, they'd be 500.
Well, I mean, they'd be 8. They'd be 9-7 if they won out.
Oh,
2-7.
True.
So that's winning. No, I mean, this is a crappy game. Yeah, we get it. Who cares who wins? Who cares who loses? But I'll take the Jets just because that's a good win last week to get them rolling a little bit. The Redskins absolutely stink too. It's in D.C. There should be a good amount of Jets fans, if there are any left, that are going to go down there.
Are there any Redskins fans?
And you know what? The Redskins are favored in this game, so I like the little underdog. Take the money line on the Jets. They're going to win this game.
I'm taking the Washington Redskins. I think the team was just handed over to Dwayne Haskins recently for the remainder of the season. I'm pretty confident that guy's got a lot to prove coming out of Ohio State and really being one of the worst quarterbacks so far out of that draft class. I think he's got a lot to prove. I think he gets a win this weekend.
All right, so we got Jags Colts in Indianapolis. Is Nick Foles is back? Is this his first game back, or did they have a bye last week? I totally forget.
I couldn't tell you. Foles is back. I think Brissett's back.
Taking Colts. They have too much to fight for, especially with the Texans doing what the Texans do every single year. Start the year slow, kind of get a little resurgence, gets bounced first round of playoffs. But I'm picking Colts.
So in this game right here, I'll be taking the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nick Foles is back. Big Dick Nick. Listen, the Jaguars are still fighting right now in the division, okay? Colts were leading, but let's just look at this right now. The Colts were leading, and they're 5-4 now, and Houston's up there 6-3. Jacksonville's in dead last at 4-5. This is dead even. Houston 6-3, Indy 5-4, Tennessee 5-5, and Jacksonville 4-5. This is a division to fight for. This is a divisional game. I feel like that Indy has lost 2 in a row. They're going to start going on a little skid right now. We talked and joked around before the season, me, Tyler, and GRD got on here. We made our predictions and this and that. And Houston pretty much was the one that we were thinking that's going to win the division, and maybe they're going to start pulling away right now. I like Jacksonville going in there and making a little statement. And, dude, Indy lost to Miami Dolphins. I don't care about the whole backup situation. Brian Hoyer and the Indianapolis Colts lost to Miami Dolphins. I am not picking you this game. I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nick Foles.
I am also taking the Jacksonville Jaguars, also because of what you said, but I think this is the first game that Nick Foles plays to completion and walks off the field a winner for the Jacksonville Jaguars this week.
And with the Eagles taking a loss this week, everyone's going to be like, wow, we should have had Nick Foles.
Wow.
Nick Foles
We should have kept him.
Yards. Oh, we should have kept him.
We got Bills at Dolphins, and the Dolphins are going to win this game simply because they are morons and don't know how to tank. They won 2 in a row. The Finns are rolling.
You think the Dolphins are going to win 3 games in a row?
I don't think they're going to try to win. I think they're actually going to win because, they shouldn't be winning. They should not be winning. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to be a middle-of-the-pack team. And, I don't know. I just see this is the most Miami thing of all time. It's all right, we started out the year good tanking, good projection number 1 pick. We won what will be 3 games in a row.
That's exactly why I'm taking the Buffalo Bills in this game because they shouldn't be winning. The Dolphins should not be winning. There's no way they're winning 3 games in a row. The Bills maintain pace in the AFC East.
The Bills almost lost to Miami Dolphins when they played each other previously in Buffalo this season and ended up being like a fumble recovery touchdown, which they end up winning by 10, but it was really close. There was like a 3-point game. The Miami Dolphins are going to win this game. They're at home. They're going to sling that rock. The Bills are coming off a loss to Cleveland Browns. Like, the Browns stink as well too. Yeah, they play hard. They had a couple of games. Again, like we said before, the Bills do this every year. They start off hot, and then they start falling apart. And this is the time where they're going to start falling apart. And this is going to be the game that's going to make or break them for the season. You lose to the Miami Dolphins, you ain't going to win the wild card. And there you go. The Cleveland Browns are still fighting for the wild card. Now the Bills are going to start falling on their way down. So here you go. Take the Miami Dolphins.
Cowboys, Lions. Cowboys have been choking lately. Lions play a lot of winnable games. This whole year has been, I think, the 3-5-1. I think out of those 5 losses, they could have won 3, maybe 4 of those, and they had a tie, which should have been a win.
They should have won.
So the Lions are a scrappy team. Cowboys are prone to choke, so I'm going to take, this is like the marquee game that the Lions finally win.
Brandon, why don't you go first?
I'm going to take the Cowboys here. I think the Cowboys continue like they're playing their 500 level football. I think they not a lot to say about this game, but I agree that the Lions are a very scrappy team. They're trying to fight for these W's, and I agree that they should have had a few along the road to get to this point 9 games in. I think they lose this 10th game of the season for them, and I think the Cowboys walk out with a W.
Find your souvenir.
This is what I'm going to do. Heads, the Cowboys win. Tails, the Lions win.
Is it a pick 'em?
Right? Because this is straight up.
Double head coin.
We got heads. What did I say? Heads was going to be the Cowboys, so the Cowboys win this game. This is a straight up pick 'em game. I have no idea who's going to win this. The Lions should be way better than what they are this season. They shouldn't be 3-5-1. They should be leading that division the way they've been playing. I think Matt Patricia, obviously, the Matt Patricia's team's going to play hard against the Cowboys. Like you said, the Cowboys have been slipping. It's a straight up pick 'em. I'll take the Cowboys. They have to keep it up. Plus, with the Eagles losing this week, they have a game lead in the division.
Texans at Ravens. 2 teams, similar quarterback styles. Honestly, these are 2 like very similar teams.
That's gonna be a fun game.
Break it down. I think it's gonna be a shootout. I don't think any of these defenses keep up with either offensive quarterback. Either quarterback. There's no defensive quarterback. I think it's gonna be a high-scoring game that the Ravens squeak out.
This could be a very interesting game. Wow, another tough one. I ain't gonna flip a coin on this one. I'm gonna take the Houston Texans in this game because if Houston is fighting, like I said, look at that division. They're all fighting with each other right there. This is a great statement game for Houston. Now remember, Houston beat Kansas City earlier this season as well too in Kansas City, and that was a full healthy Mahomes too. That wasn't limping around Mahomes. Mahomes been slipping, by the way, too. You know, he's lost 3 games this year. I think when he started fully in the game, start to finish. I like Houston and Deshaun Watson. This is Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson. I'm going to tell you right now and make a prediction. One of these quarterbacks is going to get hurt this game. It happens every year. They both have a very similar style of play. They can play with their legs, play with their arms. One of them is going to get hurt this game. This is going to happen down the stretch in the AFC. One of these big teams, their quarterback is going to get hurt. And because what's going to happen is when the Pats go to the Super Bowl, oh, you guys had an easy way. Mahomes was hurt this season. Deshaun got hurt this season. There was no competition. I think this is the game that actually happens. I am going to take Houston, though. They're both fully healthy. They go into this game. I like the upset on the road here.
I like the Texans as well in this game, even with J.J. Watt out for the year. I think Deshaun Watson is going to have the game of his life against the team that is getting a lot of love right now for still beating the Patriots and then beating the Bengals. They beat the Bengals. Come on, guys. Go for
real
it.
Quick, we got. Oh, you can go.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was letting I have to be back in 2 seconds, and if we're doing Falcons Panthers, by the time I'll be back literally 2 seconds. I have to go pick something up. I'm picking Falcons.
All right. Well, that was stupid. First of all, let me just say this about the we'll just talk together here. Let me just say this about the other game too with the Ravens. Cyrus Jones, man, had that muffed fumble.
Yeah.
Like, I know they just beat the Bengals, and that Bengals don't count. They don't count. But he had a muffed a muffed punt or whatever. That's something that's going to happen in this game against Houston. That's going to screw over the Ravens.
You think he does it again?
I think he does something like that again. Not even that. It's just there's going to be that play that maybe Lamar throws a pick or Lamar fumbles it, and it's going to be the turning point in the game. That's how close this game's going to be. And yeah, it's going to be a shootout, but something like that will happen. And the Ravens are due for another loss, man. They're absolutely due for another loss. There's no way they win out for the rest of the season. Going into this game though for the Falcons and Panthers is that I mean, the Falcons, I don't know why you'd pick the Falcons. Yeah, they're coming off a win against the Saints. I don't know why. That's
through the history of the NFL, the Falcons are the most consistent what are we at? NFL what? The 100 is the thing this year? Through the 100 years of the NFL, the Falcons are the most consistently inconsistent team in NFL history.
It's a way to put it. Someone ordered me Chinese food, dude. Like, one of my, like, I just got a call. It's like, this Chinese place. I'm like, what?
Some orange chicken.
And they was like, yeah, like, you just got an order, right? I'm like,
what's your fortune cookie? Read your fortune cookie to us.
The Panthers are at home. Got to take the Panthers in this game.
I like Kyle Allen and the Panthers. I think this team is his for the remainder of the season. I think he runs with it and uses the best of his opportunity.
Where's Cam Newton playing next year?
Denver takes the Panthers to a 6-4 record.
Really, I think Newton goes to Pittsburgh.
Ooh,
I see a lot of Chicago Bears, and but I picked Falcons. I can't change it, but I don't even want the Falcons. I want Panthers, but like I'm sticking with my guns. Saints at Bucks. Picking Saints. I feel as if it's the easiest call of all time.
I am officially changing my Super Bowl pick.
Oh,
I said on this podcast so many times that the Saints are going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm like, if they win this game, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. They're the most complete team. They don't look good with Drew Brees. It's kind of like, now I'm like,
imagine they put Bridgewater back in.
I liked, they should
They're undefeated.
And you can't roll with the hot hand because it's like
generational quarterback.
You can't do that because it's Brees. It's Drew Brees. But now I'm thinking this is very Saints now. And now I'm getting scared to pick them because I'm just like, now it's like, all right, this isn't the Super Bowl team that they should be. You should be beating up on the Atlanta Falcons. How do you lose to them like that? And I'm salty because I had them minus 14.5. They should have blew them out of the water. I am now taking away that Super Bowl pick, and I will pick somebody very soon on this podcast. And I'm taking the Bucks in this game. And it's going to show that they're going to lose back-to-back divisional games. I am taking Jameis Winston and the Bucks to blow them out. Double digits.
I think Jameis Winston got benched.
I am taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wait, he got benched?
Quarterback.
He might have been.
Who's not benched. Their starting quarterback, whomever it may be, and they will win this game by 10 points. I am just taking the Bucks this game. I don't believe in the Saints anymore. You can't lose to the Falcons like that. You can't lose. A good team like that cannot lose. That's embarrassing. And yeah, you can say, well, Babs, you're a Patriots fan, and how many embarrassing losses? That's the Patriots. They lose that on purpose. This is the New Orleans Saints are not losing to the Falcons on purpose at home. But they're not doing that on purpose to lose to a Falcons team. You can't be doing that.
I think the Saints. They come back. They
Saints
don't
by a milli.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, we
they're
said
not
that
going to lose
last
2
week.
games
How
in
did
a
that
row
work
for
out?
the Falcons and the Buccaneers, both divisional games. I think they bounce back pretty well and beat the Bucks by a milli.
We got Broncos at Minnesota. I am simply picking Minnesota. Actually, no, I hate Kirk Cousins. So I never. Why would I ever? I'm going Denver.
I would like for you to go first, Brendan.
I think I'm the.
Don't say this is your Super Bowl team.
I'm like a Broncos stan on this show. I believe in what they're doing with Joe Flacco out and my man Brandon Allen picking up the W. I think he continues his winning ways in Denver as they travel on the road to take down Babs's favorite.
This is his Super Bowl team. It's gonna be annoying. This team's not winning the Super Bowl or not going to the Super Bowl.
So, we came on the podcast either last week or the week before, and I want you to do some homework here, Tyler Miller to Joe Stafford, wherever the Stafford edits is, and we need to get him back on here. By the way, next week we're going to have Killer Kev on here, talk a little basketball. We need Stafford back on here. Got to show him some more love. We got to get some more guys on here. I said, we talked, what are your MVPs in this season? And Russell Wilson by far deserves the MVP. Yeah, Russell Wilson. And we were talking about it. And then you can also say Lamar Jackson. The MVP is going to be decided on who actually goes to the Super Bowl. And that is going to be the Minnesota Vikings. They are my new pick to go to the Super Bowl this year out of the NFC. I said to you on this podcast that Kirk Cousins is going to remind me of Joe Flacco. And Kirk Cousins is going to have a Joe Flacco-esque playoff run. And let me just read some stats here too. CBS Sports, Captain Kirk Cousins ranks since week 5. Since we take the first 4 weeks and get him out the window, just like Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't matter. He is first in passing yard touchdowns. He's first in passing touchdowns. He's first in passing yards. He's first in QB rating, and he's first in interceptions. He's only threw one interception since week 5. Kirk Cousins is now getting on a roll, and this team is starting to come together. And obviously, Dalvin Cook has been eating. Dalvin Cook has been doing a great job. Yeah, you say Kirk Cousins thinks he only looks to one player, this and that. Doesn't matter. The MVP, most valuable player, is going to be Kirk Cousins this year, and the Minnesota Vikings are going to the Super Bowl. I'm changing my pick entirely. I said it was going to be the Saints. The Saints screwed it up by losing the Falcons. I am now riding the Vikings train. Skol Vikings. They're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl this year.
I think that's
I will
a mistake.
never, ever
picking them this
root
week.
for a Minnesota team, ever.
I think that's a
Because,
mistake.
we just
especially
lost.
you'll see when the Vikings
They're a team
lose.
that 2 years ago was in the NFC title game. Like, don't forget about that. They lost got pounced by the Eagles, but don't forget
A
that they were
Minnesota
there.
sports team's never going to win anything, though.
Okay, they're not. Did I say they're going to win the Super Bowl? I just said
That
they're
would be
going to
that
the
would be
Super
them.
Bowl.
That would be them winning the NFC Championship, and I don't even see them doing that. And I'm being dead serious. Minnesota.
The NFL.
The only thing Minnesota sports has done is beat Penn State, which I'm
The
salty.
NFL is going to let them get in there. The NFL is going to let them get in there because they hosted the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and they say thank you, saying, hey, thank you for letting us host there. It was freezing cold outside for the entire week. It was 0 degrees. I like Kirk Cousins. I think he's going to go on a run because everyone, including us, we all doubt him all the time. You like that? He's going to end up going to the Super Bowl. He's going to go to Super Bowl.
I am going to change my pick before we get off this one. I am going to take the Vikings to win this game also because I don't trust Brandon Allen. Sorry, Brandon.
And Joe Flacco.
That's Brandon on Brandon crime.
And they're a 10-point favorite.
Joe Flacco is elite. You love Joe Flacco. Well, Kirk Cousins is your new Joe Flacco there, Brendan. And
is Kirk Cousins elite?
Kirk Cousins is going to be elite.
That contract's
you,
elite.
This playoff run, Kirk Cousins is just going to surprise people, and he's going to have a clean playoff run going into the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now.
We're going to bookmark this. We're going to come back to this come January, and we're going to see.
And they're going to
put
up a fight against the New England Patriots, and it's just like the Rams did it. It's going to be a close game.
Okay.
Cardinals at now the 9-1, 8-1, something and 1. 49ers bounce back in San Fran. Don't see the Cardinals coming out with a dub. Picking Niners.
Classic Monday Night Football game, by the way. That was a great ending. And I'm pissed at my bookie because the Seahawks were down 10-0 in that game, and they were plus 400, and I wanted to put $250 on them. Would have won $1,000. Knew they would come back and win that game. Seahawks are a great team this year. Don't get me wrong.
They're
the Minnesota Vikings are going to the Super Bowl.
That was the worst field goal I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was
bad.
Crazy.
But you can't blame him because he got them into overtime.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can't blame him for missing that. He's a rookie. They just signed him a couple weeks ago. It is what it is. 49ers should be taking this game. Easy.
Yeah, I agree.
First unanimous choice. All right, we got Pats Eagles. We previewed it the first half hour.
Pats.
So.
Yep.
Pats by 85.
Pats by a touchdown, just 7 points.
I
want them to win 55-10, but just by a touchdown.
17-point win. Bengals at Raiders. Bengals are actively tanking and picking Raiders because you're basically facing a team that wants to lose.
We agree, Babs. The Raiders are back.
The Raiders the silver and black are back, baby. The Oakland Raiders, and guess what, guys?
Welcome to the train, Tyler.
Guess what?
I'm not on the train. I'm only picking the Raiders because they might as well be facing 11 Helen Kellers out there.
Guess what, guys? The Oakland Raiders could be in first place by next week in the division. Wow, Babs, that's crazy. Why is that? We're both. Are we all taking Oakland Raiders in this game?
Yes.
Actually, screw it. Picking Bengals.
No, don't do it.
Nope.
I'm not writing that. I'm not writing that down.
Let the record state. I'm looking right at my
you.
camera. I'm picking the Bengals.
I'm helping you.
The Oakland Raiders are back. Derek Carr is not a bad quarterback. The Oakland Raiders are going to the AFC title game. I've stuck it out with them. I believed in them all season. I pick them every single week. This is a gimme game. Now, the Oakland Raiders lose this game, their season's done. If you lose to the Bengals, your season's done.
When they lose to the Bengals.
They will not lose to the Bengals. They're at home again. They got some home cooking now. They just had to travel all over the fucking world the last month and a half. They're finally at home. Good win. They're fighting. Kansas City's slipping right now. And it's the great time the Oakland Raiders are going on a roll. I love Oakland this game. They are going to be 6-4. They have won 2 in a row. They're going to win 3 in a row. It's all good vibes in Oakland, baby.
Sunday Night Football, we got the Chicago Bears versus LA Rams. What are the Rams' record this year? It feels like they're
5-4.
super mediocre. They're 5-4. They stink. So do the Bears. This is an ugly game. I think it's gonna be an ugly game. It's gonna be a good game because just two incompetent teams just butting heads. I'm picking the Bears with the Khalil Mack touchdown.
So this is a make or break game for both teams. Like, this is the make or break for the wild card. This is a big game because if the Bears lose, they're going to be 4-6. There's no way you're going to come back from that because I can't see them winning straight out for the rest of the year. Plus, Seattle's 8-2 and San Fran's 8-1. They're pretty much going to be a 3 or 4 loss team. They're both pretty much locked into the playoffs at this point. And you have Minnesota, who's 7-3, and Green Bay's 8-2, and they have the other 2 wild card division spot. So the next team is the Rams. They're 5-4. They're chasing right now. So Rams need to win this game to keep up. I'm going to take the Bears in this game just because I just think the Rams are frauds. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. They spent all that money on Goff, and I just want to see them suffer and lose and be a 500 team heading into week 12.
I think the Rams are going to win this game. I'll never side the same way Tyler doesn't side with Kirk Cousins. I will never side with Mitchell Trubisky. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I think he never should have been the top quarterback taken in that draft class. And I think Jared Goff proves why he is the number 1 pick once again.
Monday Night Football. Chiefs at Chargers. Chargers, this is exactly how this game is going to go. The Chiefs are going to win like every Phillip Rivers game ever. 2 minutes left. Chucking the ball downfield, throws a pick. He's like, whatever, I have 18 kids to go feed. Doesn't matter about winning. I get paid millions of dollars. Picking Chiefs.
Yo, I agree 100% with exactly what you said, Tyler. I think the Chargers are winning the game majority of the way. Chiefs score late with like 5 minutes left. You get the ball back to Phillip Rivers. 2-minute drill, throws a pick at the 10-yard line. We'll say
under 2-minute interception for Phillip Rivers is like the chef's kiss. It's like
put a cherry on top.
Work here is done.
Give you some fantasy points.
It's seen. Babs, who you picking?
I am taking the San Diego, LA, London Chargers. This team,
a lot of cities.
This team beat the Green Bay Packers at home. Like, they are a legitimate squad. They can face these tough teams, all right?
Yeah, but isn't this the Chargers every year?
That game was in LA.
I know. It was in LA. The Green Bay game was at home.
Yeah.
And the Chargers are at home in this game. This Kansas City team is not good. And this is a tough divisional game. The Chargers are still technically fighting for the division. It's still kind of close. But wouldn't it be great for that team? I have no fans except for Bolt God. It would be great for that team to get a win over Kansas City, a division opponent, and make them slip a little bit right there. I like the Chargers. I think this is going to be another classic Monday night game. I think this will be 2 weeks in a row that people are going to be on the edge of their seats. Yeah, I don't really trust Phillip Rivers either going into the quarter. I get you. But
it's happened ever since I've seen him play football. He's always down 2 minutes.
Every time it's prime time, yeah.
But I could see that, Pat Mahomes, I think he's lost. Has he lost 3 straight or something like that, or as a starter? As a starter, because he wasn't
Not
against.
sure, we'll look into it.
He wasn't a starter against Minnesota when they won that game. That was Matt Moore in that game, so don't forget that. I think he played Denver though, but he got hurt in that game and this and that. But anyways, I say the Chargers win this game. The Chargers are going to win this game. Speak into existence, Babs. The Chargers beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and guess what you're going to see Monday night at 11:30? You're going to see cue the video, and you're going to see the Babs video when he's like, all depressed Chiefs fan. That's one of the all-time Babs video right there. You're going to see that. And again, another little cushion for the Patriots. You don't have to worry about the Chiefs anymore coming at you this season. And they're going to come into New England and lose that game too.
I think if you want to go watch that Babs video, I don't think you're going to see it on Instagram at all this week. I think you're going to have to scroll back to last week to see that video.
NBA season is here.
Yes! Basketball.
Has been here for about a month. And the Celtics are the best team, not only in the East, but in the NBA, if you don't count the Los Angeles Lakers right now. Because they would wipe the floor with us, I think. But Celtics are good, dude. Like there's not a lot to talk about them because, they're not losing. Every single week we're going to see the same team, and everyone's getting hurt. Gordon Hayward, big news out for 6 weeks. Broken hand on LaMarcus Aldridge's hip. But even then, you have Javonte Green coming.
He's good. Shout out to Killer Kev for knowing that guy was good before the rest of the Boston fans did.
Love him. Two people I want off the Celtics as soon as possible. I might have mentioned this last week. Is Brad Wanamaker, aka Bad Wanamaker, and
Bad Wanamaker, 30-year-old.
Bad Wanamaker, Brad Wanamaker, Thad. I don't care. He stinks. He is terrible. Yeah. And so is Tice. I mean, Tice is good, but like Tice just does so much. He's
getting a lot more minutes this year, though. I think Brad trusts him.
Actually, only one of my roommates, because I made him to be a Boston Celtics fan. We have a tally going of games in a row that Tice is on the ground with an injury. At 6 in a row when he's been down and hurt, and oh my god, the agony. Like, he does get the crap kicked out of him, but like,
and then the first guy off the bench the next game.
yeah, he bugs me. Marcus Smart. Not a lot of people are talking about how he had one of the biggest NBA glow-ups of all time. He went from one of the historically worst three-point shooters of all time to shooting above average from three back-to-back seasons while playing lockdown defense. He's never going to be an all-star. Like, it's very obvious. He's going to be a cult hero, a Boston legend. Like who can I compare him to?
You could compare him to Isaiah Thomas, because we just played that Washington game. I feel like if Marcus Smart was to ever get traded, he'd go down as one of those. Your number's not going to get retired in Boston, but the fans will forever remember something special you did for us.
Also want to give a shout out right here to Carson Edwards last night.
Yeah.
20 minutes, 18 points, 7 for 12, and 4 for 5 from 3. And we just said, let him get a little groove going, and he's going to be a beast in the middle of this season. He's going to be a complete fan favorite as well. Glad to see him getting his last night as well.
Also, if anyone out there still hates the Jaylen Brown contract, still says the Celtics, they paid too much for Jaylen, all this stupid stuff that all these morons on Twitter.
You can go kick rocks.
Judging a kid who was 19 or 20 or 18 when he was drafted, and you don't think he just learned how to, not learned how to drink. He was just able to drink 20 minutes ago. The kid, he's going to be very good. We had Stafford on here. I didn't like what he was saying about Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown shutting everyone up. He's a good basketball player. Tatum goes 1 for 18. Really, if Jaylen Brown ever went 1 for 18, NBA Twitter, Celtics Twitter would have exploded. Jaylen's trash, blah, 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 get him out of here. Danny overpaid. But Jaylen, I like Tatum. Love Tatum. But if Tatum goes 1 for 18, I was like, yeah, you just let him shoot out of it.
He's still
but if Jaylen did it would have been World War 45. Because what are you so big for everything? Yeah. Also, last night I got into a YouTube rabbit hole of just the best of Tommy Heinsohn clips. I can watch those for tech.
That's not a bad hole to get down into.
Phenomenal. I was telling my roommate, because he didn't have NBA, he just liked watching the NBA. I'm like, dude, like the Celtics. So last year he kind of got into them, but this year he's been watching every single minute of every game. And this is Tommy Heinsohn. He's going to be your favorite sports announcer because he's the most biased guy ever of all time.
That's what's great about watching this Celtics team. They are fun to watch. They are together. They're playing for one another. They're not playing through one guy. They're playing through each other. They're looking to pass the ball because they trust each other.
So another the Kyrie hole, Kemba Walker. How are you going to fill the Al Horford hole? 3 people scoring 20 points a game that isn't Kemba Walker.
So another thing too, just a couple points that I'll make is that about them being together. Marcus Smart on Tuesday had a bowling event. The entire team was there, plus Isaiah Thomas. And it's just cool that they still kind of accept him, and he's still part of that Boston Celtic culture. But it really shows you, even the Jaylen Brown event or even a Taco Fall event, the whole team comes together. And I think that's Marcus Smart saying everyone has to come out and do this. Everyone needs to be together as a team. And it's really showing that without Kyrie Irving, he wasn't the leader that he was supposed to be. Same thing with Terry Rozier. Same thing with these guys last couple years. Celtics 9 in a row right now. This is
phenomenal.
Absolutely fun.
Imagine rooting for a team with more than one loss. Could it be?
Could you imagine?
It's absolutely crazy to see this team gel now with the Gordon Hayward situation, the broken hand. That's a freak accident.
Yeah.
I saw Killer Kev's take of LaMarcus Aldridge standing there.
Dirty play.
He just put his hand out there, and he was it's a freak accident. I feel bad for Hayward.
6'10", 250-pound man was just standing there. That's not his fault.
Gordon Hayward just accidentally ran into a brick wall.
It was an accident. It wasn't like it was, deliberate. But no matter what, it stinks for Hayward because Now you're giving you don't know what that's going to do to you. He comes back 2 or 3 months later. You're not gelling with this team right now. Now he's going to be part of the team. He's part of that culture, but you're not gelling with them on the court. And that's going to hurt them. That could hurt them. And they might have a stretch when he comes back and he has to find his groove. And he doesn't know what it's going to be because now these players are stepping up. That's something that you need to keep an eye for when the time comes and he comes back. I just feel bad for him because now when you start looking at his contract,
when he looks like he's coming back.
When you look at his contract, you're like, he's not even worth the money. Like, he really isn't.
All right, well, listen to this. Gordon Hayward opts out after this year. He's going to have his career year coming off of a thing where he can get more money because the cap is projected to raise a substantial amount. And he's like, he hates living in Boston. His wife hates living in Boston. He's not. His wife stinks. I hate his wife. Like, she's the worst person on like social media.
Robin's a nice lady.
I'm sure she's a great lady. I never met her, but on social media, she's the most obnoxious human being of all time. Like, I don't want to block her. I like hate follow her. I'm sure she's a fantastic woman. I'm not putting that by her, but she makes it very, very obvious she hates being in Boston. She's having her third kid, an infant. Gordon Hayward could get more money per year if he opts out. If he continues this career, this projection, I don't think he opts in. I think he's doing this to
contract
get
year?
back next year. Yeah.
All right. So here's
are the Celtics going to pay him though?
I think my thing about Gordon Hayward, I think the numbers that he's putting up right now won't get him a contract bigger than what he's currently got. So that's exactly like the JD Martinez.
Even then, I feel as if he'll want to go he'll want to go somewhere where
back
his
to
family
Utah.
enjoys living.
Where all his friends are.
I guess they're going to Charlotte because him and Kemba wanted to go there. I mean, Kemba's a big factor in this. Also, I saw this thread yesterday. It was like Scott Brooks, the coach for the Wizards. He was saying that IT was the reason the Celtics are good. And you can't argue him because IT brought in Horford, who later brought in Hayward because Horford and IT were there, but IT left. And then Kyrie went there because Hayward went there and Horford went there. And then that led to Kemba wanting to come here because of Hayward and the open cap space. So the ripple effect that Isaiah Thomas caused, you can't deny it.
Thank you, IT. Forever thankful. Fun fact about these Celtics, you look back 2 seasons ago, the Kyrie Irving's first season in Boston, and Celtics lost their first 2 games, started 0-2, and everyone's like, oh no, the Kyrie Irving experiment's not going to work. And, 2 years later, it didn't work. But the Celtics lost their first 2 games to the Cavaliers and to the Bucks, and that, like the Cavs game, that was the Gordon Hayward broken leg game. And after that, rattled off 16 straight wins. I think we're seeing the second coming of that. New point guard comes to Boston, all-pro point guard comes to Boston, starts leading this team. Actually, Kemba Walker actually is leading this team, and you're seeing how together they are and what they can do, beating the likes of the Bucks, the Raptors, top tier teams that we're going to be seeing come April, come May, come June. It's gonna continue to be a lot of fun to watch this team and grow together as guys start getting healthy again, as this team starts getting back to 100%, being able to see what Gordon Hayward's able to do with Kemba Walker on the night in, night out basis. It's going to be fun to watch.
Right, one last thing about the Celtics real quick. Last time they went 9-1, they went to 2008. It was the 2018. Correlation.
Wait, 2008, you mean?
Also that 2017-2018.
No, 2008
was a game away from the finals.
8 and then
I thought you seen it.
No, not 18.
18.
The one with the ring.
The team of 2008. Let's just look ahead real quick to the Celtics schedule too. So Friday night, tomorrow night, they're playing at Golden State. And what's great is that Brad Stevens, historically, and since he's been in Boston, has always played that team tough. They've always played that
Golden
team.
State.
Yeah, he's good against them with the whole. They don't have a team anymore. Yeah. Golden State. I love it. Last night, actually, the Lakers demolished them. Last night, and that was with no AD, no Rondo.
The 73-9 Golden State Warriors. You know who one of those 9 losses were?
Celtics.
To the Boston Celtics at home.
Could have been both. Could have been both.
Yeah,
I remember we went to double overtime with them. They had a back-to-back against the Bucks that night, and that was the end of the 23-game win streak.
They are at Sacramento on Sunday, and then they have 3 tough games in a row because this is a big road trip now. So West Coast road trip. And we're going to get into it next week. But one game at Phoenix. Phoenix has been a pretty good team to start the season right now against the Clippers at LA. And then they're at Denver. So those are going to be 3 tough tests for them on the road. And if they can walk out of that with 3 wins, wow, this team is going places this season. But, you win 1 out of those 3. All right, let's temper expectations.
The West Coast road trip, it's going to be tough, especially against Doc Rivers.
It's always tough playing in West Coast. I mean, them going down to San Antonio, winning that game was big in my mind too. Popovich always plays them because they haven't won that game since 2011. I smacked $200 on the Celtics that game. That saved me for the week. I wanted to say this though. Celtics were -9 last night, and they were up 16 points with 4 minutes to go, and they were just not giving a shit towards the end of the game. And it's either the NBA is rigged because it seemed like they were not trying at all and purposely missing shots at the end.
You know the Tim Donaghy thing?
The king of the fourth was playing that game.
Yeah,
correct. Kemba Walker was in the game.
And Bradley Beal popped for 44 points.
Yeah.
I actually didn't watch any of last night's game. I watched 2 highlights.
I look at that and saying to Brad Stevens and saying he must be furious. You're up 16 with 4 to go. Yeah. Why are you letting your foot off the gas pedal? That Celtics should not be doing that. And just screw betting and stuff. That's something that in basketball, because leads can just disappear like that. Because it went from 16 to 5 points.
Game of runs.
So, game of runs. Absolutely. Hot and cold. So I look at this team. Golden State, Celtics are favored 7.5. I would take that if I even survived the night for tonight. But, I got a rebound this week. But this is going to be basketball. No, this is a good West Coast trip coming up. It's Phoenix, Clippers, Denver. That's what matters the most. Yeah. They can win those games.
The problem here is that usually it's one big West Coast road trip and we won't go out west for the rest of the season. The problem is we're going to have to do it again because the Lakers aren't on the schedule yet.
Yep.
All right. This is running long, so let's go to DMs and wrap it up. So we had one DM. Shout out Kyle22SC. Who is the best shooting guard of the Celtics? Now, this is something I want to talk about. Positions don't matter in this league's NBA. You have a wing, a big, and a point guard.
Brad Stevens is playing with
you have a ball handler, a
point guards at a time.
Yeah.
They play small.
The lineup that I see all the time. Grant Williams at the 5, who's like 6'8". Tatum at the 4 is like 6'8", and then Smart covering the big guy. So there's not. I mean, if you want to go by position, I think is Jalen a shooting guard or small?
Jalen's a guard.
All right, then it's a toss up between Jalen and Smart.
I think
point guard,
Marcus.
Right?
Marcus is a 1. I'd say
Jalen landslide. All right. Any final thoughts?
Alex Cora's not a cheater. AJ Hinch made him do it.
What's going on with the whole baseball thing? Because I'm lost. I haven't really paid attention.
This is supposed to be like the biggest punishment in MLB history or something.
Alex,
do you think they take away
stealing signs or something?
Do it.
Do you think they take away the ring?
Not a chance. That's not possible. It's not possible.
You can't. But do you think they erase it from history like the Reggie Bush stuff?
I don't think so. It's the same thing with the Barry Bonds.
But they were saying it'd be unlike anything baseball has ever seen.
I think they're going to fine them a lot. They're going to take away their international pool money from signing all these international guys that they've been very successful with in the past. But
they should suspend the team for 1 year and they can't play next year.
Just get them out.
They're not allowed to play.
A college team can't go on the Bulls or something.
Make them like a playoff ineligible, like moving from Division 2 to Division 1.
That'd be kind of crazy. They said like you guys can play next year, but you're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah,
like
you go 100.
This is what they should do. This is what they should have. You just have to be like,
if you win 150 games, you get to make playoffs.
Or whatever. Who's it? Rob Manfred's the guy.
Yeah.
So throughout the year, baseball's a long year. You send one player from the Astros a week to be Manfred's secretary, butler, whatever you want to call him. Like, you can still, if you win a championship, go ahead, go nuts. But, like, I want something out of this, so you have to personally do anything I ask for a week. That's a perfect punishment. They said anything, something unlike sports and MLB I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I
don't think it's going to be that insane because of this has happened in the past. You look at the Red Sox and Yankees doing this in the last few years, and they've been called out for it, and they were fined some money, and that was literally it. The problem is that how the scale that this one in Houston went on, like, extended through the World Series. That's the problem with it. And you see guys apologize to guys like you, Darvish, who seem to have blown the series for the Dodgers 2 years ago, when really the Astros knew what pitches were coming, whether it be a fastball or something off speed.
All right.
I don't know. They're just saying
Alex
this,
Cora is not a cheater.
They're just saying this. They're just saying this because it's the off season now for the MLB. Yeah. They need some ratings. People need to talk about them.
Exactly.
So they're gonna drag this out. They're gonna completely drag this out. This could be the biggest punishment. Wait, tune in next week. Tune in the week after that.
It's gonna be a 6-hour noogie. Just a 6-hour noogie.
We're gonna get you, Houston. We're coming.
We're coming for you. Just not now. Just tune in next week. We'll have an
looking
update
over your shoulder.
Yeah, it's just gonna be ridiculous. So,
all right, this is Boston's Big 3, episode 21. Welcome to the show.
JE11. That was a fun time, by the way. I brought Jeff Smith with me. He was the winner, by the way. The guy who looks like Edelman, and he stood outside. Yeah. He stood outside the concept store. And he was just standing there, and people literally were going up to him, like, taking pictures of him secretly, like, walking by. They were like, hey, Edelman, like, what's going on? You threw a football to me. He's so much taller than Jules. And people thought he was him. We were inside the store together because we were getting in line. And someone tapped him on the shoulder. One of Jules' like business partners is like, "Hey, Jules, what's up?" And he turned around, and was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." Like it's just hilarious how much he looks like him.
Yeah.
And he's a really great dude. But when we went outside and we went to the line outside that people were waiting, people were taking pictures with him, and he has that Jules look, dude. He makes that face like he's got.
Why does Jules every single picture he looks like he got stung in the eyes by bees?
Yeah.
So Jules went to every single person and goes, "Hi, I'm Jules." It's like, first of all, we know who you are, but it's like the Brady thing. Like he just mimics Brady. He just mimics Brady.
David Ortiz introducing himself.
Sorry, I didn't catch your last name. What was it?
Yeah. I was like, "Hi, I'm Spike King," and then I just took a picture and left. Like it was just.
He knows like Dito and you, right?
He sees the face. He hates the face. He wants to punch this face. He ain't a big fan of the Spike King. I know he is. He's a big fan of Dito. Dito could not come. It was very hard to get. I couldn't get him out there.
Dito's at the Tatum, right?
Huh?
It was at the Tatum thing. How was that?
Yeah, Dito was at the
Gunner thing the same. That was pretty cool.
Oh, Gunner called me a legend. I don't know if you saw that or not, but Gunner, just no big deal. He's like, "Hey, you're a legend. Like you're a legend, Gunner." And now he follows me on IG. So. That was a win. That was a small win that night. It's great that Boston, I love Boston, like lets us come out there and do those things at the thing. Someone won a Gunner jersey. I don't really care about autographs. I told him straight up, I'm giving this jersey away. It's actually somebody that lives in Pennsylvania that won it. He had a good story. Spread some love for Boston Fro that day. But it was a good thing. They're gonna have 4 players coming up on Monday over there. I will still be in Philadelphia celebrating the win on Sunday. I do not come back till Tuesday morning.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. I want to eat my food.
That was a long one.
I've been eating.